What is up, car addicts? In this video, we'll be talking about this week's Up Money Event Week as well as the property and vehicle discounts. This event week is from March 2nd through March 8th, 2023. In terms of new content this week, we unfortunately did not receive a new car this week. Hopefully, we get one next week, but yeah, second week in a row without any new car, but I guess it sort of makes sense considering how good the event week was a couple weeks ago, but yeah, that 2 week gap is a bit annoying, isn't it? Anyways, we did get the downloadable security update for all platforms a couple days ago, which also had some bug fixes, so I guess there's that. But anyways, the current price right for this week is the Obey Omnis. This vehicle is primarily based on the Audi Sport Quattro S1 E2 Group B rally car and has a normal price of about $700,000. To get this vehicle for free, you have to place top 3 in a Pursuit Series race for 3 days in a row. Now, in terms of performance, this car is in the sports class and is one of the slowest ones in that class around the pace of the Lynx and the Hot Ring Sabre, but it's still pretty decent for rally style races and it's a very fun car to drive in general. In terms of the test drive vehicles for this week, we have the Coquette Blackfin, the Futo GTX, and the Jester Classic as well. And for next-gen console users, we have the HSW Brioso RA as the HSW test ride vehicle for this week. Now, in terms of the casino podium vehicle, we have the Omnis EGT. This vehicle is primarily based on the Audi e-tron GT and has a normal price of just under $1.8 million. In terms of performance, it's in the sports class and is around mid-pack in that class, so not really that quick of a car, but it does offer Amani Tech and takes 12 homing missiles to blow up with the armor plating upgrade from the Amani Tech, and you combine that with the missile lock jammer, it makes it one of the most defensive vehicles in the entire game, so I would highly recommend trying to win one if you don't own it already. In terms of dealership cars for this week, for luxury autos we have the Locust and the Morgan, and for Simians we have the Viceris, the Ellie, the Itali GTB, the Comet Safari, and the 770 as well. Moving on to the discounts, in terms of the property discounts, we have 40% off the agencies, as well as 40% off the upgrades and renovations for it as well. If you don't already own an agency, I would highly recommend getting one this week. Doing the Dr. Dre contract and payphone hits as well is definitely worth its price tag. Plus, of course, the ability to install Money Tech on select cars. It's the only place you can do it currently in game, and honestly, I'd say it's worth it. 40% off is a very substantial discount. Moving on to the vehicle discounts, we have 30% off the Locust. So this car is in the sports class, and even though it looks like a track car that's going to have some insanely good handling, it unfortunately just drives like a normal sports car and really isn't all that fast. Pretty much performs like a normal sports car. And personally, I'm just not a fan of the way it looks. I'll never forget when one of my buddies, Voodoo, mentioned that it looks kind of like one of those like race car beds for kids. I just honestly can't unsee it. It just looks terrible, honestly. Continuing, we have 40% off the Jester Classic. This car is in the sports class and has great customization, and of course, being based on the legendary Mark IV Supra, it's an awesome car to own. However, I will mention that this car does have these slow handling flags, which really ruins the driving experience, but hey, at least it looks and sounds pretty cool. Next up, we have 40% off the Viceris. This car is in the Sports Classics class and has one of the highest top speeds in that class, putting it in top 10 for most tracks. Moving on to the San Andreas website, we have 40% off the Futo GTX. So this car is in the sports class and is one of the slower ones in that class, but it has insanely good customization, being a tuner DLC car, and the driving experience really makes it worth purchasing in my opinion. It's just a really fun car to drive and customize with all the initial dereferences and all that. Next up, we have 40% off the Ellie. So this vehicle is in the muscle car class and is one of the slower ones in that class, being around the pace of the OG Vigero and the Gauntlet Classic. It's a pretty good looking car with average customization. Really, its biggest downfall is the fact that it has the annoying slow handling flags, which just really impacts its driving experience. And lastly, we have 30% off the Patriot Mil-Spec. This one is in the off-roads class and really isn't that great in terms of speed, but it's a beast in terms of off-roading, has insanely good customization, and a unique interior that is very, very detailed. Plus, of course, it does have the Amani tech as well. Now, I know it's a pretty expensive off-roader, but with all the great customization and detail it has, plus the Amani tech, I definitely think it's well worth its price tag. In terms of login unlocks, you'll get the white West Coast Classics DJ Pooh t-shirt for free just for logging in this week, which is pretty cool. In terms of double money, we have double money NRP on security contracts from Franklin, plus double money NRP on the Dr. Dre VIP contract, which is actually pretty good. This would pay out $2 million and only takes you about an hour and a half if you're quick with it, so not too bad. I would highly recommend doing this while you're waiting for your Kyle cooldown this week. And also you can do while you're waiting for your Kyle cooldown, we have 1.5 times money NRP on payphone hits from Franklin this week, which can get you some serious money. Moving on to the Prime Gaming bonuses for Prime Gaming members only. So again, same as usual, we have the usual free $125,000 for logging in during the event week period. And lastly, this week's RC Bandito time trial is Little Soul Park. This week's normal time trial is Stab City. I highly recommend a vehicle with a high top speed or fast bike for that one. In terms of the premium race for this week, we have the Supercar Race Cutting Corners. I highly recommend the Emirates, Krieger, LM87, or Wagner for that race. And if you're on next gen, I highly recommend using the HSW Weaponized Ignis or the HSW Cyclone 2. And lastly, for next gen console users, the HSW time trial is Del Perro Beach. As always, the HSW Hakuchu Drag will be the best one for these. In terms of my vehicle discount pick of the week, I'm going to have to go with the Patriot Mil-Spec. It offers Amani tech, is great at off-roading, has tons of detail both inside and out, plus the good customization. It's just an overall really good vehicle. The only negative I can really think of is that it's not really all that fast, but honestly that's to be expected from a Humvee based vehicle. It's not supposed to be super fast, but yeah, overall, I mean, I'd give this thing a solid like 9.5 out of 10. It's definitely worth it. Anyways guys, hope this was helpful. Overall, this event week is actually pretty good. The agency bonuses are most definitely the highlight of this week. Again, it is a bit unfortunate we didn't get any new cars this week or new content in general, but I'm very confident we'll be getting a new car next week, most likely the Hot Ring Everon, but we're just going to have to wait and see. Anyways guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.